What's up, guys? Mike the Cop, and apparently we're supposed to be living in a tolerant day and age, unless tolerance has to include, I don't know, police officers or Christian thought or ideology, or a mixture of the two. Stick around, I'll explain.
I got you. Yeah, I will defend my brothers. I will defend the weak. I will pursue and fight evil so others may sleep. I am the sheepdog, protecting the night. Wolf hunters unite. Bring it on. It's time to fight.
Okay, guys, listen. If you are not of Christian thought, that's okay. God bless America. I mean, that's actually the point of this video, and why I find this story out of South Carolina involving a fallen officer memorial so irritating. This story popped up, some people mentioning it to me on Instagram, so I figured I'd take a look. I Googled it, and the Christian Herald popped up. I've never heard of this news outlet until now, but apparently that's where I'm getting this information from, just so that you know. Tega City, Tega Cay. Why can't anybody freaking make normal names? Somewhere in South Carolina. Sparked controversy this week after city officials first removed the word Lord from a fallen police officer memorial before ultimately removing the entire memorial. A memorial containing the officer's prayer was placed outside of the Tega Cay Police Department to honor police officers killed in the line of duty. After being up for only a short time, the city reportedly received numerous complaints about the religious words in the memorial, causing city officials to cover up the word Lord, which appears 3 separate times. City officials decided to remove Lord from the prayer, however, did not solve the issue. Instead, it sparked even more controversy. Why? Well, because people who were upset that it took it away then started to express their outrage. In response, the city said this: "We have received many comments, both locally and nationally, in response to the monument at the Tega Cay police station. We attempted to find a compromise, but failed." Yeah, I'd say so, but for other reasons than maybe you think. We failed as our community has further divided. In an attempt to find a resolution, we have upset parties on both sides of this issue, and for that we are truly sorry. At this time, we have removed the monument while we continue to seek a solution that expresses our unwavering support and gratitude to those who risk their lives every day for ours. We will continue to welcome feedback from our residents and seek further guidance from our legal team until we can find a viable solution for all concerned. So here's the deal, guys. I'm going to give you 4 quick reasons in this video why I think this is absolutely ignorant. First is the underlying assumption that somehow division, or having thoughts that disagree with one another, is somehow inherently bad, when in fact it is the vigorous debate and exchange of ideas that has historically made us stronger and into what we have been as a nation that is an example to the rest of the world of what true freedom in diversity can look like. There is a huge cultural issue here that we are divided on, and it's along the lines of reasonable thinking, in which people have bought into the idea that just because you disagree, it means that you have a disdain for. And that's not a true statement. Now, you may disdain people you disagree with, but just on the virtue of being divided on thought doesn't in and of itself mean this is a bad thing. In fact, it means it should spur us on to further healthy, respectful debate on these issues so that we can actually come together as communities. Second, allowing a minority of thinking to sway and control the majority in a community is an untenable, unsustainable way of handling your business. That's because in that way of thinking, there is no way to establish clear lines. At any moment, mutiny is simply a decision of the minority. And that is an unhealthy and impractical way of trying to run anything, let alone a municipality. Third, and very significant, is, I don't know, this little thing about the Constitution. There's a little thing in the First Amendment here that I should remind you of. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Guys, the separation of church and state has nothing to do with the words on a fallen officer memorial. In fact, if we're going to talk about tolerance of ideas, what if those fallen officers expressed a Christian faith? Why can they not have a Christian prayer on the memorial if that's who they were. This is why I refer back to my last point that it's untenable, because what happens if a Muslim officer was killed in the line of duty and he had a passage from the Quran on there, or something like that, and the situations and examples could abound. But the point is, if a minority of people complained about that, would they then have to change it? Or you get caught in between two things you're supposed to be tolerating extra. What? The fallen officers who lived their life in service and trying to uphold the Constitution and the principles therein, where's their voice? They don't get a chance to have any expression of their religion at all. That gets suppressed somehow just because they're not here anymore. That the idea of those who wanted to dedicate something to them can't express themselves with religious terminology, even though that is inherent and ingrained in the history and culture of our nation, let alone we still retain the individual liberties in this country to express ourselves in religious terms. But listen, this isn't about religion directly. It's about the freedoms that are afforded to us by rights in this country that we are ignoring when we do silly things like this and try to white out religious terminology. That is what we should be scared about, trying to wipe out what people are saying in exercising their free rights to free speech. Which brings me to my last quick point, because this just reminds me of some of this like tearing down the statues and all that stuff that's gone on around the country. And that is this: erasing or changing monuments in the present doesn't erase or change or improve the past. Of course, there's been abuses in the past of every people group and every religious ideology. We're people, we're flawed, it's going to happen. But that doesn't negate any of the good or any of the value that has come or any of the lessons that we can learn from such things in our past. But knocking them over now doesn't fix the past. It doesn't pave an effective way into the future either. That's my 2 cents on this issue. What do you guys think? Drop it in the comments. Like this video. Share the content on my channel if you appreciate it. Hit the notification bell, even though YouTube doesn't tell people anyway. I guess I'm supposed to say it. Okay.